Did you know that Pinterest user base grew by 50 million people just from 2023 to 2024? If you are wondering if you should market your business on Pinterest, or maybe you're thinking about becoming a Pinterest marketing expert and manager such as myself, and you're wondering about the relevancy of Pinterest in 2024 and the years to come, I am here to tell you that Pinterest is very much so alive and well and continues to grow year over year. Not to mention that Pinterest has continued to put more focus on increasing the shoppability of the platform, meaning making it an easier and more seamless experience for people to shop on the platform, which is obviously amazing news for business owners, especially because they obviously want to monetize their Pinterest traffic. So in today's episode, I am going to be breaking down for you how to use Pinterest trends to get more eyes and traction on the platform. So let's start off by giving a little explanation of what Pinterest is and how it's going to benefit your business. And like I mentioned, I have a lot of people who come to me wanting to learn Pinterest marketing because they want to become Pinterest managers and actually offer Pinterest management as a service. So whether you are applying this to your business or maybe your clients, this is going to be really helpful information. And I find that actually Pinterest Trends is one of the tools on Pinterest that a lot of people are sleeping on, meaning that they don't really know about the Trends tool or they're not really fully utilizing it. And it is a huge way, like I mentioned, to increase your traffic and profit on the platform. So now back to how Pinterest functions. Pinterest is a search engine. You can think of Pinterest as Google or YouTube. It is a platform where people go to the platform with a problem and they're actively looking for a solution. So when people go to Pinterest, they're looking for not only a solution, but ideas, inspiration. They're using the platform to plan special life moments. And it's this unique platform because you're searching, but you have this visual search where you're seeing these pins that help your dreams and your ideas really come to life. And people are planning baby nurseries, their wedding, their next DIY project, tonight's dinner recipe, all on Pinterest. Now, some of the key things that Pinterest is looking for and takes into consideration when ranking pins on Pinterest, because it is a search engine, they're paying attention to saves, they're paying attention to keywords, and they're also paying a lot of attention to interests. They're taking these into consideration when they're ranking pins. So I want to share with you how to utilize that trends tool so we can get your pins to be the top ranking pins for your business and niche on Pinterest. So what we are going to do, we are actually going to jump over to my Pinterest account because I want to show you exactly how to utilize this Pinterest trends tool, also how I'm utilizing it for my clients and what I'm teaching my Pinterest management students so that they can use these trends to really strategize what content they're actively pinning for their clients and also what they're recommending in terms of content creation in the future for their clients. Now, one of my favorite episodes that I create for my YouTube channel, it's typically towards the end/beginning of a new year, is Pinterest Predicts. And Pinterest Predicts are the essentially trend predictions they are sharing for the upcoming year. Now, Pinterest has a pretty good idea of what trends are going to be predicting because people are using their platform to actively search. So they're able to compile this information. So Pinterest Predicts is really cool because it gives us an idea and maybe a sneak peek of what could be trending up in the upcoming year. But the trends tool on Pinterest is a little bit different because it's telling you what the trends and patterns were for the previous year. So it's actually giving you that data from the platform for the previous year. So I just wanted to mention that. So when we're looking at it currently, as I am recording this episode, we're in 2024. So when we're looking at my Pinterest account, it's actually going to show 2023. However, there are certain topics and ideas that are really kind of evergreen and seasonal. And so even though we will have Pinterest Predicts where there are some trends that come and go very quickly, a lot of these are ones that are going to be continual patterns that you'll see within your business and niche. So things such as We're still in the summer right now. As I'm recording this, the 4th of July, barbecue, grilling, those things are typically always trending up certain times of the year. So, like I mentioned, this is just a really great tool to not only help Pinterest managers and business owners plan what they're going to be pinning in the next 45 to 60 days, but I really like to provide this information to my clients so that they can strategically plan their content for the next 3 to 6 months, and they know what is going to have the best chance of ranking on Pinterest in the upcoming months. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the Pinterest Trends tool on my Pinterest account. Let's go.
Okay, so here we are inside my Pinterest account, and I do want to share that you are going to need a Pinterest business account if you are going to market on Pinterest. Now, if you have a personal account, you can convert that to a business account, and if for some reason you want to go back to a personal account from a business account, you can also convert back to that. But I actually had a personal account and I converted mine to a business account once I started to market my own business on the platform, and there has never been a need for me to go back to a personal account. And if you're going to be marketing your business or your client's business on Pinterest, Pinterest does require that you have that business account, and it is free and easy to set up. So I highly recommend starting there if you don't have a business account. So now that I'm logged into my Pinterest business account, you can see up here, I'm on trends.pinterest.com. Once you log into the platform though, you are not going to obviously be on trends.pinterest.com. So if you are navigating that from, let's say, the homepage, you can see under Pinterest, you'll have shortcuts, create, analytics, ads, manage business. Under analytics, you can scroll down and you'll see right here, Pinterest trends. That's what I'm clicking on to bring me to this sort of Pinterest trends page. Now, you'll see a lot of different features and things that you can explore on the trends page. So I want to share with you some of the different ways that I'm using Pinterest trends. So you could search by keyword. I did want to mention that depending on what keywords you are searching for, there aren't going to be results. So it's a little bit different than using the search function on Pinterest, what you would typically use as a user. So this is different. So you're searching keywords trending on Pinterest. I just wanted to mention that because I've had students or other business owners ask me before, when I searched the Pinterest trends, nothing came up. Sometimes that does happen. So like I mentioned, it's a little bit different than how you search normally on Pinterest. Now you'll see over here, you can filter by region. I'm in the United States, so I have it set to the United States. The first thing you'll see, trends in the United States matching your pins. So it even shows what's trending and what matches your content. So this might be an indication of you should create more of this. Maybe you'll want to run an ad for this topic. So you can see here, trends and subjects, trends and career. Let's see here. Those are the only two right now. So depending on how many might be trending up, you might be able to scroll or swipe left to right. Top trends in the United States. So trends with high search volume within the last 30 days. So we see nails, summer nails, date night beauty, home bedroom refresh, fashion, wallpaper, outfit ideas. So it gives you lots of different ideas. Now, this is in the last 30 days. Does this mean you need to start creating content for this right now? Not necessarily. As I'm recording this video, it is almost mid-August. So I'm actually going to be thinking about what's going to be trending up in the next 45 to 60 days, because some of these trends might be going back down the other way. It is interesting to see what's trending. And like I said, some of these you might take into consideration depending on if you think they will continue to trend up. Other ones are going to be going the other way. So for example, spring meals, we're actually heading towards the end of summer. So in my opinion, I would not want to create or focus on content around spring meals. I'm thinking about people are going to be more searching fall meals. So those are some things to take into consideration. So discover trends in the United States. I loved using this section on the trends page when I would be working on my client accounts, because it gave me a lot of interesting information that I could provide to them so that they had some basis or idea of what could be trending up for their niche on the platform. So you have different trend types. And one thing that's nice is if you hover over the eye there, you'll see that Pinterest gives you a little explanation of what that means. So for the filter, you'll see trend type, pick the type of trend you want to see populate in the table. So this is the table over here on the right. So when you click on that, you'll see top monthly trends, top yearly trends, growing trends, and seasonal trends. You can set the end date. So pick an end date to view trends data for a period leading up to that date. Interests, and you can see if you hover that, pick interest to find trends specific to a topic. Keywords, include keywords to find trends specific to a topic. When you include multiple keywords, the table will populate trends with any of those keywords. Age, gender, so it's really cool. It gives you a lot of features, capabilities. So you could type in keyword, let's see. So let's do fall meals, see what comes up. So it brings up that specific keyword, the weekly change, monthly change, yearly change. So you can enter in more if you would like. You can filter by interest. A lot of times I worked with clients who were in the education niche. So I actually had a student ask about this in terms of interest in filtering. It wouldn't make a lot of impact if I'm filtering by electronics or architecture or beauty when they're in education. So you do want to think about those interests and based off of what your audience is interested in. So if you are a teacher business owner and you're creating digital products, maybe physical products, sharing teaching ideas, things like that, your audience is probably the people that follow you, engage with your pins, they're probably interested in education. So you can click on that and automatically it's going to give you these keywords related to that interest. So you'll see here, these are all related to education, back to school bulletin boards, back to school supplies, pretty school supplies. Everything is in that education interest. You can see the weekly change, the monthly change, and then also the yearly change. Now, one thing I like to do, I like to filter by growing trends. And like I said, you can check or edit the end date. So because they don't know what's gonna happen in the future, when you're thinking about these growing trends, I actually would go back to the previous year since that's the data that Pinterest has. And let's say I want to do really if we're in August right now, like what is September, October, November, like what are these months going to look like? So you'll see that it'll show you below for growing trends. This is what was growing September 2nd to November 30th. So it kind of shows you that time frame for the previous year. Now, does that mean that Pinterest users are going to behave identically in 2024? Probably not. But like I mentioned, some of these things are fairly evergreen in terms of trends where they're ones that are pretty popular year over year. Like I said, there can be changes in behavior, but you'll see like winter bulletin boards, Christmas classroom door, Christmas classroom. So you're thinking very holiday type trends. Now, if I wanted to switch, I still have on the education interest. I could still have that growing trend, but maybe I'm more interested in food and drinks. So you'll see green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole, corn casserole. These are all food-based and really go with Thanksgiving, obviously. So we can see when these are going to start trending up. And actually, I know it sounds crazy, but Thanksgiving is always towards the end of November. You should start pinning those things in September, the beginning of September, because since Pinterest is a search engine, it takes time for the platform to index your content, understand what that pin is about, distribute that pin, and then in order for people to save that to their boards and engage with it, for it to really create that snowball effect that we can see from Pinterest, sometimes it can take a couple of months. So in order to give that pin the best opportunity to be indexed, to be distributed, you do want to share that multiple weeks, maybe even months before that specific holiday. So I always say at least 45 days, but you could do 60 days. So it gives you a lot of different ideas, and we can play. So that's growing trends, and it gives you a pretty long time frame. You're looking at September, October, and October. So it's really 3 months of information. So if we click on seasonal trends, the seasonal trends, you can see it cuts it down to just 1 month. So we're just looking at November. But think about this, whether you are the business owner or you're a Pinterest manager and you're providing this for your clients, you want to provide them with this information now, because you wouldn't want to give it to them 2 weeks before November starts, because then they don't have time to plan their content. In order to create YouTube episodes, podcast episodes, blog posts, that all takes time to create that content. So they really want to be thinking about that in advance. And like I mentioned, I find that my clients really like this because it does help inspire them and inform their content. So you'll see here now, just for November, once again, leftover turkey recipes, turkey soup, turkey leftover recipes, Christmas appetizers. We're already thinking about Christmas in November, cranberry fluff, turkey soup recipes. These are all very seasonal. In food, we could also, what would be interesting? What could be trending up for gardening in November? So poinsettia flower, wisteria tree, winter floral arrangement, winter trees. So it's really interesting to see how obviously there are still different keywords trending up, even if you would think that, winter would be going down for certain niches, that there are still keywords, things that are going up in search. And it's just important to think about that time of year and what people would be searching, because there obviously are keywords, relevant searches for all, niches and interests on Pinterest. But I just think it's so, I kind of geek out over this, seeing what is trending up that time of year and planning that content in that way. And then you can also do top yearly trends. So it'll show you December 2022 to November of 2023. So you can play around with that a bit. Now, if you do want to search by keyword, so let's say fall is coming up and maybe you are in the home decor niche. You could do fall decor. So what this is going to do now, you can see that this screen looks totally different than what we were looking at before. The date range will be, once again, for the past year. I highly recommend looking at it for the past year, because the past 3 months and the past 6 months, it's probably going to be less relevant in terms of fall decor, because the past 3 and 6 months were really summer, spring, late winter. So if you want to see what was trending up for fall decor, I would keep it as the past year when you're looking at date range. And you can see this interest over time. So how often people are searching for a keyword compared to all keyword searches that week, indexed 0 to 100. So 0 means there's very little searches, and 100 meaning that it was something that was highly searched that week. So you can see this graph, and once again, like I said, I kind of geek out over it. You can edit this a little bit if you want to. So maybe we change it to, so it gives us a little bit of a fuller picture here, so we can see when it started to trend up, when it peaked, and then when it really started to come down significantly. And you can see how sharply this increases depending on which keywords you're searching for to look at their trend behavior. Some are going to be more even and really more steady, whereas some that are very seasonally focused, such as fall decor ideas, they have this sharp increase and then I say it's a sharp decline, it really is. It does come down somewhat, but you can see from just really over the course of 2 months, it goes from 100 to 20 in terms of that 0 to 100 and how highly it's searched by weeks. So you really have this specific window when you need to be pinning this. So you can see that the fall decor, people start searching at the beginning of July. You can see it shows a 2 on here from January all the way to the end of June. And then July, we start to see it pick up. August, it's really increasing. So we are more than halfway, no, at 68 out of 100 the last week of August, or August 28th. And that makes sense because if it's fall decor, you're thinking September, October, maybe some of November. So, but a lot of times when you're thinking fall decor, you're thinking pumpkins, Halloween. And so once you get to really the end of November, then it's more like, when you're thinking of winter, a lot of people are thinking of Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, different holidays. So when we scroll down, one thing that I love is the related trends. So add related keywords to the graph to compare the trends. So not only can you use this to help you plan your content, but when you're doing your keyword research, this can also give you ideas for other keywords, pillar keywords and long tail that you want to rank for. So remember, pillar keywords are typically 1 to 2 words. Long tail keywords are typically 3 to 5 words. So it's really building off of that pillar keyword. So if your pillar keywords were fall decor ideas would really be long tail. So here we can see there's just fall decor. We can compare that and we can see that fall decor is even more highly searched than fall decor ideas. We can, let's see, fall home aesthetic. So this is a bit different. Obviously we don't have decor in there, so it's a different pillar keyword. And look at how low that compares. So when you hover over that, fall decor ideas is only 5, fall decor is 100, and then fall home aesthetic is 2. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't use fall decor ideas or fall home aesthetic? No, they're definitely not as searched as just fall decor. But think about this though. I want you to consider that when you are using very competitive keywords, it can sometimes be a little bit more challenging to rank for as well. So it is good to use a combination of highly searched and also lesser searched, and just make sure that your keywords are highly relevant to the content you're sharing, and the pin title, the pin description, and making sure that that's super relevant to where that pin is obviously being directed. Now, when you can continue to play around with this, I find this so interesting. When I'm searching trends, keywords, you can kind of get lost in this. So pro tip, sometimes I'll set a timer. And especially if I am taking on a new client, I really want to have a robust document that I'm using where it really is hitting on all of the major topics, the pillar keywords, long tail keywords that we want to rank for. And that might take me a few hours to compile. Now, when you're doing and reporting these trends, when I'm doing this for my client, I'm really focusing more on that previous page we were looking at when we were looking at growing trends, top monthly trends. Those are things I was sharing with my client, but I'm using this when I'm optimizing the titles, the descriptions. Like I said, I might add additional keywords to this working document. So if you're interested in learning more about doing keyword research, I do have other YouTube episodes specifically on how to do keyword research and that document that I house my keywords in, because I do recommend, I've said it a couple of times now, having that working document that you can really house all these pillar and long tail keywords. So I do have a paid workshop called the SEO Expert, and that provides that Airtable base that I use for my clients. I use it for my own account where you can keep those keywords, and that really helps you keep everything organized. And you can also check out those other YouTube episodes, which I will link in this episode as well. So you'll see down here, you can look at demographics, gender, male, unspecified, and custom. I actually did have a Pinterest representative tell me once that when somebody has unspecified, that just means on their Pinterest account they haven't specified if they're male or female. And they mentioned to me that typically that unspecified audience is made up mostly of women. So just a random fact there. Then you have popular pins. So browse popular pins based on your keywords. This, once again, I kind of geek out over because it gives you a lot of ideas. You can click on this and it will show you, and then you can kind of pay attention to what are common themes and what are you seeing come up on these pins. What I'm noticing is they're obviously, hence it being fall decor ideas, they're all fall decor ideas, but some other common things I'm noticing, themes or trends, is that a lot of them do not have text overlay. Now this one does right here, the Kirkland's Fall/Halloween, but a lot of these pins are just providing inspiration. So it's just a picture and it's giving you ideas, but it doesn't have text overlay. So that's interesting. You can take that and you could create a decent amount of pins that don't have text overlay, but I also would recommend making pins with text overlay too, because text overlay, that text Pinterest can read, the AI or artificial intelligence, and so that can help index your content, tell Pinterest what this pin is about. And plus, like I said, it's a great way to provide more context and kind of get your, potential audience, potential Pinterest user, potential customer to want to click through on your account. Now, I'm not seeing as many video pins, which I think video content is so engaging, so that could be something that you also capitalize on. This one, 31 neutral aesthetic Halloween vibe pictures. That's fun. It shows an example of using text overlay. So this just gives you lots of different ideas. So you can always reset that. You could search by back to school. And you can see here, we could edit the end date. We're getting that more full picture. So typically I know with working with my teacher clients that they're seeing a sharp decrease in their back to school type content in September. Most schools are going back at least by Labor Day. So this gives you a good idea. You can see it's starting to trend up even in June. And where I'm in Indiana, we would go back mid-July because we actually, and I was a former teacher, this is how I know this, we would go back mid-July. And so you can see that it's already at 54 mid-July. So if you're waiting until August to share your back to school content, you have totally missed really that peak in search. So just some things to think about. Like I said, I love using the Pinterest Trends tool because not only as a business owner does it help me plan my content and think about strategically what I want to pin, but it also helps me come up with new keywords, pillar keywords, long tail keywords. It allows me to compare things. And like I said, I like to use a combination of highly searched keywords, but also ones that maybe aren't as highly searched because those are also going to be a little bit easier to rank for. So it's kind of nice to use a combination. So the Trends tool, like I said, it's kind of gold. It gives you so much information. You can spend a lot of time playing here. I would recommend maybe setting a timer. And if you really want to, kind of nail things down, hammer things out for the next couple of months, I would say start thinking about where we are right now, whether you're watching this in January, in April, whatever time of year, think about the next 3 months and not trying to bite off more than you can chew. If you've never done your keyword research, I do highly recommend going back to some of those resources I shared, such as my other YouTube episodes, and then also even checking out my SEO expert workshop, that is that paid workshop, checking out those, making sure that you have that keyword base, and then also utilizing these trends to even just plan out / map out the next upcoming 3 months. So I hope that you found this helpful. Let's go ahead and wrap up this episode.
I don't know why more people don't know about the Pinterest Trends tool. It is just one of my favorite tools, and I find that my clients love seeing what could be trending up, what they could use for content creation. It gives them ideas and inspiration. So as a Pinterest manager, when I create my monthly report for my clients, every 30 days I am creating a monthly report. This is what I teach my students to do who are also becoming Pinterest managers. I include this information about upcoming trends, growing trends, and I find that it's kind of gold for them. So I wanted to share this with you so that whether you are hiring a Pinterest manager, becoming a Pinterest manager, or just taking the DIY route, that you have the best opportunity to get your pins, your content, to get more eyeballs and more traction on the platform. Because when you're using Pinterest and you are getting discovered, which 97% of searches on Pinterest are unbranded, you have this amazing opportunity to be discovered by your ideal audience. And the whole purpose of Pinterest is to get your content discovered, get people to click on it, and then leave the platform to get them to your website. And I always like to say that when people leave Pinterest and go to your website, that's kind of where the magic happens, because that's where you're able to convert that traffic, and that's where you're going to start making money from Pinterest for your business. Now, once people leave Pinterest, what's happening on your website, how you're monetizing that traffic, it's going to look a little bit different depending on your business model and really your strategy. So that can look different business to business, and it is important to have a plan for that traffic so that you are able to convert that. So I hope you found this helpful though, and I have lots of Pinterest resources if you are interested in checking them out. If you are a business owner, I have Pinterest Marketing Magic, which is my signature course. And if you are thinking about becoming a Pinterest manager, I have a free secret podcast, also a free training that I would love to share with you, and I will link both of those in this episode. I also have my Pinterest Manager Academy, and if you know that becoming a Pinterest manager is for you and you would like to take the next steps to applying for my Pinterest Manager Academy, I will include that link as well. So I would love for you to let me know what you think about this episode in the comments. Even share other topics or things you'd like me to cover in upcoming episodes. It brings me nothing but joy than to serve you and make sure I'm helping you grow your Pinterest account. Because if you can't tell, I'm very passionate about the platform, and it has done amazing things for my business, my clients, and now my students are able to serve in this way as well. So I'd love for you to share with me in the comments, like I said, what topics you'd like me to cover in the future. And I would love for you to like this episode, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon in next week's episode. Bye for now, friends.